When we hear the word inflammation, our minds usually jump to something bad, right? Something we need to get rid of with ice or medicine. But what if I told you that inflammation is actually one of your body's most amazing and sophisticated defense systems? In this explainer, we're going to flip the script and look at inflammation not as the bad guy, but as your body's own elite first responder team.
Okay, let's start with something super familiar to all of us. You get a tiny paper cut, or a bug bite, or you stub your toe. What happens almost immediately? The whole area gets red, it feels warm, it puffs up, and yeah, it hurts. But those aren't just random annoying symptoms. Nope, they are perfectly coordinated signals that a rescue mission is officially underway.
So how does your body actually announce that this mission has started? Well, it uses a set of 5 classic alarms. Think of them as clues that tell us exactly what's going on right under the surface of our skin.
And these signs are so universal, they're not new. We're talking ancient history here. The Romans were documenting this stuff. It's the body's fundamental language for saying, hey, we've got a situation here, and we are on it.
Okay, so let's break them down. We've got redness, which is rubor, heat or calor, swelling, which in ancient terms they called tumor, pain or dolor, and the last one, loss of function, known as functulesa. Now here's the kicker, the really cool part. None of these are actually the problem. They're the direct results of the solution kicking into gear. Let's dig into how that works.
All right, to really get why those 5 alarms go off, we've got to understand the mission itself. Inflammation isn't just chaos and collateral damage, it's a very precise protective operation.
Okay, the textbook definition sounds a little dry, but trust me, it's packed with major clues. It's a response to an injury, not the injury itself. And notice these key words: vascular connective tissue. That's huge because it means inflammation can only happen in parts of your body that have a blood supply. Why? Because that's where all the action takes place.
Think of it like this. Let's say some bacteria sneak in through a cut. The bacteria are the intruders. They're the problem. Inflammation, well, that's the cavalry arriving. It's the whole coordinated rescue mission designed to take out those invaders and clean up the mess.
And any good mission has a clear set of objectives, right? First up, contain the threat. You gotta wall it off so it doesn't spread. Second, neutralize the cause, whether that's bacteria or, say, a splinter. Third, cleanup duty. Get all the damaged cells and debris out of there. And finally, number 4, prep the site for the repair crew to come in and start rebuilding. So, how in the world does the body pull all of this off? The entire operation, the whole shebang, is staged inside your tiniest blood vessels. So let's zoom in and see exactly how this main event unfolds. The very second a cell gets damaged, it doesn't just sit there. It screams for help by sending out a distress signal. It releases this flood of chemical messengers, we call them mediators, that basically act like emergency flares, showing the rest of the body exactly where the trouble is.
And these guys are the dispatchers, the ones calling the shots. You've got molecules like histamine, which is like the first alarm, telling blood vessels to open up and get leaky. Then others like prostaglandins and cytokines show up to direct the flow of immune cells. You might even recognize some of these names from the side of a medicine bottle, and that's because these are the very molecules that orchestrate the whole response. So these chemical mediators trigger 2 absolutely critical changes in the local blood vessels. First is what we call arteriolar dilation. The vessels leading to the injury basically widen. Think of it like instantly opening up every single lane on a highway to rush emergency vehicles to the scene. Second, they increase permeability. The walls of the blood vessels, which are normally sealed up tight, intentionally become leaky. They create these little gaps between the cells.
And that leakiness is on purpose. It lets a special kind of fluid pour out from the blood vessels into the tissue. And it's not just water leaking out. Oh no, this is the good stuff. It's a protein-packed fluid called exudate. And it is loaded with everything you need for a good defense. Antibodies, warrior proteins, the whole 9 yards. And this is a really important point. Not all swelling is created equal. The fluid that causes inflammatory swelling, that exudate, is thick and rich with all those defense molecules because the vessel walls opened up to let them out. That's totally different from something called transudate, which is a watery, protein-poor fluid that can cause swelling in other conditions where the vessels stay sealed. So inflammatory swelling is special. It's a delivery of supplies right to the front lines. Okay, now we have all the pieces of the puzzle. Let's connect what's happening in those blood vessels back to those 5 alarms we started with. This right here is the aha moment where it all clicks into place. Check this out. The vessels dilate, rushing more warm blood to the area. What do you get? Redness and heat. The vessels get leaky, and that protein-rich exudate floods the tissue. Boom! Swelling. All that swelling,
Plus, some of those chemicals directly poking at nerve endings leads to pain. And finally, if an area is swollen and painful, well, you're not going to want to use it much, are you? And that's your loss of function. See, it all connects. They're not just random symptoms, they're the direct, predictable results of the rescue mission in action.
So when you see just how intricate and, well, smart this whole process is, it really makes you rethink things. Inflammation starts to look a lot less like a foe.
I mean, this quote from our source material just nails it. The whole point of this entire response is to bring your body's best defenders, all those things normally just cruising around in your blood, and get them to the exact focus of the injury.
It's this perfectly designed system for containing a threat, cleaning up the damage, and kicking off the entire healing process. So far from being the villain, acute inflammation is actually one of the most vital, life-saving tools your body has to keep you safe and healthy.
But of course, that brings up a huge question. If this response is so beneficial, so protective, what happens when it doesn't turn off? When does this helpful friend become a foe? Well, that's the story of chronic inflammation, and that is a topic for another time.